It is the last day of January, and it is the final day of a 2-week trip that I'm wrapping up that brought me to Barcelona, where I am right now, as well as Morocco. And if the first month of 2018 is any indication of how the year is going to play out, then I have a lot of adventure and excitement ahead of me. However, this could get very hectic. So I've already hit Greece, Spain, and Morocco, as well as, of course, Bulgaria, my home base, so far in 2018. And I've really spent this month with one foot in those countries, half my brain focused on my travels, and another foot and the other half of my brain focused completely elsewhere, particularly on trying to make a trip happen next month to Acapulco, Mexico, and trying to make a trip happen the following month, for that matter, all of March, to Russia in order to cover the Russian presidential election as well as to see the country. Now, both of these prospective trips are getting very complicated. I've been attempting to plan most of this around the Russian media accreditation and visa process, as that's clearly the one thing that I cannot do without if I were to go on these trips. I can't get into Russia without a visa, and if I'm going to do any reporting on the Russian election, I better have accreditation, and that's not simple to obtain, and this process has been getting more and more complicated by the day. By the way, right now, behind me you can see is the Arc de Triomphe here in Barcelona. The Ciutadella, I'm botching the pronunciation, anyway, it's something like that. The park right here, which contains the Catalan Parliament, is closed off, as yesterday I was reporting from right here, where there was a large rally in support of Carl Puigdemont, the pro-Catalan independence leader who is currently in exile in Belgium, and the pro-independence parliament is trying to get him elected president, even though he's out of the country, and the Spanish government is trying to prevent that from happening. And as you can see, the park here, it's pretty sunny, but I'll give you another glance. Anyway, this park in the heart of Barcelona, in which the Catalan Parliament sits, remains closed off with a somewhat sizable police presence, not nearly the size it was yesterday. Things have pretty much calmed down and emptied out here today. There was a lot of action here yesterday. Here you can see some of the police presence. There's limited media presence still here. Yesterday it was packed and loud with pro-independence demonstrators chanting that Puigdemont is their president and lots of other slogans. Anyway, I'm diverting, but very interesting news taking place here in Barcelona. This Catalan crisis is nowhere near resolved, and it's going to go on for a while. Today I'm taking the opportunity to just relax for a couple hours and explore the city by foot. I've now spent about a week total in Barcelona over the past 2 weeks, and a great deal of that time has been spent trying to figure out this Russia situation, as well as the Mexico trip. I have, however, gone... That's not a good view right now because the park's closed off, but I did go salsa dancing, or tried to go salsa dancing in this park here. I was invited by a Spanish friend I made in Morocco, and came out to this salsa event and got to see a bit of the salsa culture here in Barcelona, which seems to be partially imported from Latin America. There were definitely a lot of people who are not of Barcelona or Catalonia origin at the salsa event. But nonetheless, it was a nice cultural experience, and I learned a few salsa steps, which I'm going to need a lot more practice if I'm going to keep up that routine. So this Mexico thing, speaking of Latin America, what I really want to do is go to this Anarchapulco conference that I've talked about going to for a couple years now. It's basically this big libertarian event down in Mexico, and it has some alternative media figures who are regularly in attendance, who have very large followings and are quite accomplished. A couple of them have already met while covering the Bilderberg conference, and I would very much like to connect with them and others at the event. It's going to be a major, there's more of the Spanish police presence. It's going to be a major cryptocurrency and blockchain event, actually. One whole day is devoted entirely to cryptocurrencies, and there are major figures from the cryptocurrency world who will be there. Anyway, the trouble is now with this is that the event is sold out. So I'm willing, even though I do not have the Russia thing handled by any means, nonetheless, I'm willing to book a last-minute flight to Mexico, which will take a long time for me to get there from Bulgaria, and it's going to be very costly. That's not how I like to do my travels, with last-minute cross-the-world flights, but I'm willing to do that nonetheless. But I don't have a ticket to the main event. Anyway, I'm still seriously considering going. I could book that as soon as today. There are events before and after the main event. However, the main event conference is 4 days, I believe. So I wouldn't want to miss out on all that. The keynote speaker is Ron Paul, the former U.S. congressman who's famous for his libertarian stances. Anyway, that event would bring a lot of journalistic opportunities and networking opportunities, and at least one friend of mine is already confirmed to be there, so I have plenty of reason to go to Mexico, but it's going to involve plenty of struggles to get there and back, get in the conference, and somehow juggle this Russia media accreditation and visa process while I'm doing that. I don't know if it can all be managed. I'm going to try. I guess I better take a lesson from Dan Pena, the $50 billion man, the Southern Californian living in a castle in Scotland, who I heard speak in London a month or two back. And what he said was that in business and life, when there's gunfire, just charge right into it. So I really don't have any assurance that I can actually pull off both these trips. I might go broke in the process. Things might go totally wrong. But I guess I'm just going to charge right into the gunfire, as Mr. Pena says. I don't know how else I'm going to get it done, but I'll give it a shot. But for now, I'll take about an hour to walk along the waterfront here in Barcelona and actually enjoy this incredibly lovely city. It's late January, yet at least during the day it's so nice. The sun is out. It's about, 15 degrees Celsius. Very pleasant. So, yeah, a lot on my plate, but at least for now I'll keep stepping foot on this Barcelona, Catalonia soil. Granted, it still is Spain, obviously, here, and there'll probably be a lot more to come on that front in the coming weeks, months, and years, as I said in my report yesterday. Alright, that's enough for this vlog. I've gone on enough. Thank you for your interest. If you have any pointers for me, I'd be glad to hear them. If you could possibly be of help with either the Acapulco or Russia situation, I would love to hear you. So thank you very much, and adios from Barcelona.